Okay, so again, mean is a measure of central tendency. It balances the distribution. It is also an expected value. While the variance and the standard deviation, they are equal the measure of variability or measure of the spread. Okay, the variance and the standard deviation are measures that will tell us if the data in a given set are close to each other to the mean. Okay, it's not enough that you get the mean. When you are going to get the mean, the median, or the mode, your measure of the data will be, when you're going to describe the data, that will be a weak interpretation. That's why we need another way of interpreting the data by the use of variance and standard deviation. When you say variance, that's the square deviation from the mean. When you say standard deviation, that's the number of units away from the mean. So say for example, the mean is 5 and your standard deviation is 1. Your score is 6, meaning to say you are one standard deviation above the mean. Or when you are having the periodic exam and then the average in the periodic test is 25 and then your score is 27, the standard deviation is 2. So meaning to say you are 2 standard deviation above the mean. When the standard deviation is small, meaning to say the scores are clustered around the mean. In other words, dikit-dikit ang mga score kapag ang standard deviation natin ay mababa o maliit. But when the standard deviation is big, the scores are, meaning to say, kalat-kalat siya, meaning to say, there are scores who are masyadong mataas and there are scores na masyado siyang mababa. Usually, ang standard deviation na mataas, nangyayari yan sa isang section na kung saan hetero. May sobrang galing na estudyante, may sobrang medyo mahina na estudyante. Okay? The smaller standard deviation happens in a class which are homogeneous, meaning to say pare-parehas po sila ng halos level, like sa mga UMS na naka-group according to the average. I hope you're ready with your calculator. Pinuha ko na yung calci ko. So we have here an example to find the mean and the variance, including the expected value. A radio talk A talk radio station has 4 telephone lines. If the host is unable to talk during commercial or is talking to a person, the other callers are placed on hold. When all lines are in use, others who are trying to call in get a busy signal. The probability that 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4, that's the value of the random variable, will get through is shown in the distribution. Find the variance and the standard deviation of the distribution. The first thing that you are going to do is to construct table. Excuse me. We have here the probability of x. So probability does not only comes in fraction. Sometimes it is given in the form of decimal. So the random variable is 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Then we have here the probability of the random variable 0.18, 0.34, 0.23, 0.21, and then 0.04. The third column will be to multiply the probability of the random variable and the random variable. So when you are going to multiply 0 times 0.18, that is 0. 1 times 0.34 is 0.34. 2 times 0.23, that is 0.46. 3 times 0.21, that is 0.63. And then 4 times 0.04, that is 0.16. Okay? Third column will be the square of the random variable. So yung first column is square mo lang, multiply to itself. So 0 times 0, 0. This is the first column. 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 are 16. And then the fifth column will be to multiply the square of the random variable, and the probability of the random variable. So meaning to say the second and the fourth column will be multiplied. 0 times 0.18, that's 0. 1 times 0.34, that's 0.34. 4 times 0.23, that will be 0.92. 9 times 0.21, that will be 1.89. 16 times 0.04, that is 0.64. And then you get the summation of the fourth and the third and the fifth column. So summation nito, summation of p of x times x is equal to, you add 0 plus 0.34 plus 0.46 plus 0.63 plus 0.16. Ang makukuha po natin dyan, that is the expected mean. So 1.59 here is the mean or the expected mean. Okay? The next one is to get the summation of the fifth column. The summation of the fifth column is the variance. So we have here the summation of x squared times p of x is equal to 0 plus 0.34, 0.92 plus 1.89 plus 0.64. The answer to that is 3.79. So this is the symbol for the expected mean. This is the symbol for the variance. And this is the symbol for the standard deviation. So basically, based on our table, our expected value is 1.59. Our variance is equal to 3.79. And then, how do we get the standard deviation? Paano kunin yung standard deviation? Anyone?
Square root po.
Square root of what? I'm sorry, my formula is wrong. Tama, square root of the standard deviation, by the way, um, is the summation of x squared times p of x multiplied, minus rather, the square of the square of the expected mean. So this will be 3.79 minus 1.59 squared. That's the variance. So 3.79 minus 1.59 squared, that is 1.26. Yan po yung variance. Ang standard deviation natin, kukunin lang natin yung square root ng variance. That is the standard deviation. So here, that is the square root of 1.26. So the standard deviation is the square root of 1.26 is equal to 1.22. Okay? So thus, the mean is 1.59, variance is 1.26, and standard deviation is 1.22. I repeat, the standard deviation tell us how far the score is around the mean. So when that is 1.22, meaning to say the scores are 1.22 something around 1.59, which is the expected value. Question so far? No question? Let's have the next example. A bank vice president feels that each savings account customer has on average 3 credit cards. The following distribution represents the number of credit cards people own. Find the mean, the variance, and the standard deviation. We have to answer because there is a question in number 2. Is the vice president correct? Tama ba siya na ang kanyang assumption, ang bawat isang kliyente nagmamay-ari ng 3 credit cards? So para malaman natin yan, kukunin natin yung expected value o yung mean. So x here will be the random variable, the number of cards, and then the probability of the random variable will be, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 0.18, 0.44, 0.27, 0.08, 0.03. Third column is to multiply the random variable and the probability of the random variable. So 0 times 0.18, that's 0. 1 times 0.44 is 0.44. 2 times 0.27, that is 0.54. 3 times 0.08, that's 0.24. 4 times 0.03, that is 0.12. Tapos kunin natin yan yung kanyang expected value, yung sum yan. 0 plus 0.44 plus 0.54 plus 0.24 plus 0.12. The answer to that is 1.34. The fourth column is the square of the random variable. So we have 0, 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16. And then get the product of the square of the random variable and the probability of the random variable. So 0 times 0.18, that's 0. Fourth and second column po yung minumultiply ko. 1 times 0.44, that's 0.44. 4 times 0.27, that is 1.08. 9 times 0.08, that's 0.72. 16 times 0.03, that is 0.48. Tapos add natin yan, summation of x squared times p of x. 0 plus 0.44, 1.08, 0.72, 0.48. The sum to that is 2.72. Okay, so the expected mean here is 1.34. The variance is equal to the summation of x squared times p of x minus the square of the expected mean. So 2.72 minus 1.34, square that. The variance will be 2.72 minus 1.34 squared, 0.92. 0.924. The standard deviation, the square root of 0.924, that is equal to 0.96. Now let us answer the question. Is the Vice President correct? Yes or no? Tama ba yung assumption ng Vice President na ang bawat kliyente nila nagmamay-ari ng 3 credit card? Boy, answer me. Yes or no lang po yung sagot doon sa tanong natin.
Yes po.
Why? Ang ating computation, 1.34 lang. Pero yung assumption ng Vice President, 3 credit card. Ibig sabihin, tama ba siya? Mali. Siya ay the Vice President. Assumption is correct, incorrect. Alam niyo, class, ang statistics ay hindi statistics kung hindi tayo marunong mag-interpret ng ating sagot. Ang computation kasi meron yung calculator eh. You can do it sa Excel, pero kung hindi niyo ma-interpret yan, then I think magkakaroon ka ng malaking problema pagdating doon sa research ninyo. Kanina ang question ko ay answerable by yes or no lang. And yet, you can choose between yes or no. Paano na kayo sa totoong buhay niyan? Hindi nyo lang mamimili lang kayo sa dalawang bagay. Kasi hindi kayo makapamili. So the vice president assumption is wrong. Because based on our computation, each of their customer, on average, has one credit card only. Kaya 1.34. That's why the vice pres assumption is wrong. Each bank client, you can expand this one, owns one credit card only. Clear? Question so far? If there are no more questions, I am going to give this one as the activity number, I think 3. This is only 3 problems, 3, 4, and 5. If there is a question, wala, mean variance. Kailangan nyo po ipakita makuha ang mean variance sa standard deviation. Here, meron bang tanong? You have to answer this one. Do you believe that this is believable claim? A pizza shop owner determines the number of pizzas that are delivered each day. Find the mean, variance, and the standard deviation for the distribution. The manager's claim is that 45 pizzas were delivered on one day. Para masagot mo yon, do you think that this is believable claim? You compare 45 pizza doon sa makukuha mong expected value or mean. May question ba? Ano umalis? Kasi kukunin ko yung attendance. Someone is raising. Okay, ma'am. Wait lang. Hindi ko yung attendance. Okay, if there are no more questions, we can leave the class. Thank you for joining and see you next Tuesday.